Hello, first grade friends, and we've been studying a lot of fairy tales and now diving into our fractured fairy tales. And today I wanted to share a section from a book that was actually recommended by Mrs. Manley. So this book is titled Fierce Fairytales Poems and Stories to Stir Your Soul, and it's written by Nikita Gill, published by Hatchet Books. So if you're interested in this, it's written more for adults, but I think there's some stories in here that you'll definitely enjoy as well. And the one that I wanted to share today is titled The Red Wolf. And I'll share this awesome illustration with you as well. But what this author does is she takes classic fairy tales and updates them and changes elements like we've talked about in our lessons and updates them for today. So I wanted to share the story, The Red Wolf. Children go missing all the time. Sometimes it's fairies who steal them. Other times they trust a wolf. Even in times of war, children are innocent to the true ways of the world. Their mothers are always wiser. This is because most mothers know that the softest people with the biggest hearts are the ones who hold the truest magic of them all. Purity of this kind cannot be bought from the gods themselves, and it was the greatest target of the devil sold. When Little Red Riding Hood went missing, a girl so beloved by her mother that she always told her where she could be, that she could be anything she wanted to be. Her mother never ever left the place where she had grown up, hoping against hope that the trees, the woods, would one day return her child. Every day she stood at the edge of the woods, looking into the dark, hoping to find a wisp of her forest-hearted child somewhere within the leaf-strewn wild. Every day she took a step closer to the darkness, hopelessness making her courage steadfast and stronger. So she's waiting on the edge of the woods, hoping that Little Red would return. Grief makes unlikely warriors out of us all. So when she saw the two lamp-like eyes in the dark one day, she was not afraid. Instead, she asked, "Brother Wolf, are you the one who's stolen my child from my arms and taken her away?" "Not I," said the wolf before disappearing. The next day, she took another step closer to the woods she had once searched every inch of, and another pair of eyes glowed through the darkness, red like the color of her child's cloak. "Brother Wolf, are you the one who pulled my child away from me with just a look?" "Not I," said the red-eyed wolf before turning away. A wolf began to visit her almost every day, and every day she asked the same question in a different way. She found herself getting closer and closer to the heart of the forest, and the wolves never ever attacked her. She began to wonder if what the woodcutter had told her was true, that a wolf had eaten her child for supper. On the day she reached the heart of the forest, she began to realize that although she had thought she had been here before, this lush, dense, deep part of the woods was a place that she'd never been. There was something familiar and unsettling about it, almost like a place not meant to be seen. A lair where 1,000 eyes, lamp-like eyes, watched her from the fog and the dark. And when the fog cleared away and the light came through, she found what she was looking at was enough to make her fall apart. On a throne, amongst the wolves of all sorts and sizes, a young girl sat. She wore a red wolf's skin on her body and two swords sheathed behind her back. Slow recognition crept over her face. She ran to the older woman and, after hugging her, finally told her why she had never come home. "Dear mother, I am sorry I never came home. The evil woodcutter and his friends were trying to destroy this forest world. When I came through the woods, I happened to hear of all their plans. They saw me listening, followed me to grandmother's, killed her, and tried to burn her house down so they could continue their wicked plans. The wolves came to rescue me and trained me to be one of them. I am now the Alpha, and protect them from the woodcutter and his evil friends." Her mother promised her that she would never tell another soul where Red Riding Hood was. The secrecy was their only weapon against the woodcutter and his horde. Over and over, Red Riding Hood and the wolves bravely defended the woods and the woodland creatures from extinction. They bravely fought, and her mother soon came to live with them and aided them in their battle. So when you tell the story of Red Riding Hood, remember this too. Her mother told her she could grow up to be anything she wanted to be. So she grew up to become the strongest of the strong, the strangest of the strange, the wildest of the wild, the wolf leading the wolves.